Patience, it's good to be with us this evening. Thank you for coming. So
Right,
let's just go straight down to the business, okay? We have this question here that we like to know about the Black Lives Matter, right? How do you view the Black Lives Matter as a movement or a moment?
It's certainly not a moment, because when you say something is a moment, it means it is fleeting, it will pass. But there's something different about the movement this time, and you can just feel it in the air. Something tells you that things will change this time around. And we're about to make giant leaps with this movement. So when you say Black Lives Matter is a movement, it is a continuous effort, and there's no stopping us now until we get justice and equality for black people.
Yeah, good. On one of the national television channels, I like your statement. You said, an attack on one of us is an attack on all of us. Such a strong statement. How do you explain that?
Absolutely. And I think, interestingly enough, I think this has become one of my very famous lines now. An attack on one of us is indeed an attack on all of us, because George Floyd and all these other black people who have been killed could have been any one of us.
Yeah.
And we still can't even put it past any one of us. We don't know what will happen tomorrow. It could very well be one of us. So George Floyd is us. We are George Floyd. All those black people who've been killed in the past are us, and we are them. It's about our collective identity as black people. And this is why, if it happens to one, it could have been any of us. So it's happened to all of us. We're a community.
Yeah,
we're a racial community. That's our identity.
It's a very protective statement. Show the togetherness stuff you're trying to bring.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But there is something that worries me now. It's that what is your view on the violence nature of some of BLM protests in terms of tearing down statues, destroying public properties? What is your view on that?
Right. Before I respond to that, I would just like to emphasize that I do not want my response to be taken out of context. I absolutely do not condone violence, but this is me as a person, right? And so I do not support the fact that people have gone out there in the name of Black Lives Matter and have destroyed public buildings and buildings that are beneficial to all of us, for the good of all of us. But at the same time, I try to put myself in the shoes of these people. I try to feel the anger that they feel, and I think their reactions just kind of tells you the level, the depth of the anger that they feel. And this anger is not coming from the death of George Floyd. It is coming from years and years of a systemic and institutional racism. And they have just had enough. So we all have our different ways of reacting. And whilst people like me might be going on television and advocating for things to change, there are others that don't have that opportunity, and they just see this as a way of, venting their own anger. And I think the same goes for the bringing down of the statues as well. We have tried to do things differently. We're asking people to write to their members of parliament and also to write to their local councils, asking that every local council in the UK reviews its statues, monuments and blue plaques and try to rename them using more positive history or more positive heroes, historical heroes, rather than people that we know historically to be slave owners. So we're not, we might want to say no to the bringing down of statues, but at the same time, those who are doing it know the reasons, know what they know what they feel, and we will never know because we've never walked in their shoes.
Yeah, but how do you distinguish the genuine protests? Yeah, in this matter of in this situation, including the Black Lives Matters, and from the opportunists that would come and take advantage on the movement, so they could destroy things, or they could take advantage to do what they've never done before?
Well, I'm really not ruling out the fact that there could be opportunists. I'm not in a position to confidently say that there are. But it's possible, yes, there could be, you know. But again, don't forget, I have stated that those people who have taken that opportunity, we don't know what they're going through. We don't know what else is in their minds that they're vending through the Black Lives Matter thing. However, there is a genuine Black Lives Matter movement that is going on, and the genuineness of it is the fact that we want to see change. We want to see black people get justice and equity. We want to see black people get that which should rightfully be theirs. We want to see black people get treated in a fair manner. And there's nothing wrong with that, is there?
Yeah, because
yes.
Patience, we know that you're a public figure, an inspiring personality. But how do you want youth looking up to you to remember you?
Well, it's such a thrill. I'm so delighted to hear from you that I am an inspiring figure. I don't see myself as such, but
you're very often on television. You're very often television, having meetings here and there.
Well, I do hope that that inspires people, and if it does, that will be wonderful, and I think that would be a credit to myself, if I may say so.
Yep.
But how do I want youths or young people, to remember me? And again, I'm going to use another one of my famous lines, which is, I want to be remembered as the woman who came, who saw, who conquered by making change, and most importantly, who remembered to pass the baton on.
Wow, those are very touching words. Thank you. But there is also, as a woman, as you mentioned earlier, how do you juggle work and family responsibilities nowadays?
Ooh, that is a very, very, very unique question. And I think most people, especially women, get asked that question. How do you juggle work and being a mother, a wife, and a carer? Personally, as an African woman, I was, as other African women, were always raised to be and taught to be how to be good mothers and good wives. So we grow up with those skills in us. However, the missing bit is our responsibilities within our communities, and this is where a lot of women struggle to make it. But as far as you get your act together, you've got a career going for yourself, you find that you're quite able to juggle between those. I mean, we've seen great women, people like past leaders, women leaders who led governments and still came back home to cook for their husbands and take care of the children. Sometimes you come back home right at the nick of time, right on time to put the children to bed. And I think women are generally created to be multitasking. And it's something that we do with ease, to be honest. That's not to say that they're not women who struggle. There are women who struggle, but some of us just, get on with it.
Thank you so very much, Patience Bentu. It's been a great pleasure to talk to you.
It's been a pleasure.
Looking forward to talk to you some other time again.